3, 2, 1. Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of The Curse of the Collector. That's right. This is the show we do once a month here on the channel where we have our esteemed panel of guests talking about some really cool things they have picked up of late. And let me introduce everybody, why don't we? So we've got Mr. Jamie Laszlo. We've got Rand Kelly. We've got our center square today is Scott Berry. We got from 2 weeks Canada, in a row, Armando Venditti, and Bob's there today as well. We've got Nick Usofian, and we have all the way from Scotland, from Davy's Cinema Flicks and Music Picks, Davy Gallagher. Howdy, everybody. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
That's good right. Today is literally, when we do these shows, it literally is good morning, good afternoon, and maybe late afternoon. I don't think we have any evenings here on this panel at this very moment, but Davy's getting close to it, I think, right?
Couple of pills and I'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll just.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So there's, as always with this show, there's no real format. I've just basically asked everybody since last month, what 2 really cool things have you got? It could be CDs, vinyl, box sets, a cool DVD or Blu-ray of a concert, and you know, this is media focused. We're not yet talking about movies. We might do that at some point, but for now it's more music related stuff, books, autobiographies, you know, all that kind of fun stuff, anything music related. So we're going to have Rand go first today because he actually has to run, so he's going to give his 2 picks, and then we're going to go Jamie, Armando, Scott, Nick, Davey, and myself, and we'll go one turn round for everybody. So Rand, what do you got for your 2 picks today before you leave us till next month?
All right, I've got to swiftly do this. So first thing I've got is this.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wild Turkey Battle Hymns.
Yeah, Wild Turkey Battle Hymns featuring Glenn Cornick and Gary Pickford Hawkins.
Rand, is that an esoteric re-release?
Yes, it certainly is, yes. And it sounds incredible.
It's a really good album. Yeah.
I had this album when I was in the Air Force, and I bought it because I knew they were going to open up for Yes, who was going to open up for Black Sabbath. And I went and saw that concert, and it was like mind blowing. But these guys were great.
Oh, he does rub in, doesn't he? He does rub in.
They both had Gibson SGs. I mean, it was just like great. You know, I love this music. It's not really prog, it's not really heavy metal, but it's like in the Uriah Heep kind of vein, but they don't really have a keyboard player. I mean, it's just really
You know how I found out about that band? Reading Bruce Dickinson's autobiography. He really talked highly of that album.
Yeah, they're kind of like a heavy Thin Lizzy or something, you know.
You know what I often compare them to? It's because, you know, Glenn was just coming out of Tull at the time. It's kind of like Benefit, but maybe a little heavier.
Yeah.
That's
good. And both their albums are really good. Their original 2 albums. Hey, so Rand, does that have a really cool esoteric booklet in it and everything? I'm just thinking, I'm like, because I have an earlier CD edition, and I know Esoteric does a great job on all their reissues. And I'm thinking, God, do I have to buy it again?
Yeah, I can't get it out right now because I don't have any fingernails, but yeah, there's a booklet.
Did they reissue both of them or just that one?
I don't know.
It's worth looking at.
They don't tend to do one on their own if they can.
Esoteric is incredible.
Oh yeah.
I guess they did because they put that on there to go buy it. This is the second one. This is the
there you go then. So
I'm gonna get that one too, but I just
they're both great. If anybody hasn't heard Wild Turkey, really good band. Really,
it's amazing how some record companies will go into like so much detail for their product, for like the reissues, and then you see some other record companies, which we'll see with me, where it's like you look at the packaging and it's just like shit.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you don't spend the time to put a good package together. But
Armando Esoteric basically does what they do for people like us.
Yeah, and Cherry Red.
Nerds, okay.
Yeah, Vicky Powell is.
And people addicted to the curse.
Yeah.
Mark and Vicky Powell are awesome. Okay, here's the second one.
Oh, the shoot off,
Fragile Beyond. I love this album.
I was listening to that.
The
Okay.
other
Yeah, I
one
was
is
listening to that.
Golden Fragments, and I owe all this to my buddy Pete Pardo. He even gave me a shout out when he did the review. He goes, Rand Kelly, I'm talking to you.
Well, you know, I can't
opened it
take
up.
all the credit. You gotta give credit where credit's due. Ken Gold is the one who introduced them to all of us. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Claire Hamill, what a singer. Oh, she's so good.
Fantastic.
I first heard her on the Steve Howe album back in 1979. Oh, man, what a voice.
She gives
No,
it credibility.
no relation to Peter Hamill, but you
Correct.
know. But anyways, you guys,
Others-
I'm gonna have to take off, and I'll watch you when you go on YouTube.
Okay, sounds good, Rand. Thanks for bringing those two, and
All right.
see you next
Take
month.
care,
We're
Rand.
on YouTube just now, Rand. Shush, shush.
Love you guys.
Talk to you later.
All right,
Take
Rand.
care.
Rock on.
Enjoy.
Bye, Rand.
Enjoy
Nice
your.
picks.
Enjoy your Thursday.
Did he say love you guys before he clicked
Yeah.
off?
He did.
Well,
Wow.
yeah. He grew up in the
I feel
hippie
loved.
generation. Flower power.
And we've only been together. This is twice as a unit. So
I know.
hey,
Yeah.
you know what?
Take
That's
the
okay because
compliment and
like,
run.
we say that kind of stuff on In the Proxy. We say that kind of stuff on Hudson Valley Squares. So this is a new batch of folks
Yeah.
here on the channel. So you know, that's okay.
So Mr.
I don't even
Rogers'
say it to my
neighbor.
family.
No.
Okay. All right.
We're
So
all
we
about
got
the peace of love here, aren't we?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
so now that Rand jumped off, my configuration changed here on my Zoom. So I think I did say Jamie, and then Armando, then Scott,
Yeah.
Nick, Davey, and myself, if that makes any sense. All right, so Jamie, what do you got for us? Your first pick for today.
I got a big fat hangover.
Okay.
But that doesn't count.
Aside from
That's
that,
not music related. No, no.
I got my Bloody Mary, Doctor Strange, to celebrate the movie coming out this
There you go.
Thursday night.
Next week.
I might go see that too, actually, the
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Strange, but okay, carry on.
And I got a new media room. This was a storage room for about 14 years, and it just had like extra, paper products and stuff in here. And I turned it into a media room. My wife said for 14 years, I'm gonna make that into my office. 14 years I gave her. I think that's enough time, right?
That's two
I think
lifetimes.
so.
Yeah. I mean, I think George W. was president at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Well, it was record store day last Saturday.
Bloody hell.
And I was one of the fools who went and stood in line for a little bit. Now, I didn't start standing in line at 10 o'clock the night before for the Taylor Swift. Little
Yeah, that
45.
one's-
There
that
were
one's
people
gone
in
mental,
line at
yeah.
10 p.m. for the record
Mhm.
store opening at
Good
8 a.m. So they stood there for 10 hours just for a little single record. I don't know what spell she put over her fan base, but my God, power to her. But I
This
got
is
there.
Taylor-
I
this
got
is
there at
Taylor
8:30.
Swift?
Taylor
Mhm.
Swift,
I got there at
Okay.
8:30 and I just still stand in line for a half hour.
Hmm.
So these guys, man, I don't know how much they put their overhead is on buying all those records. But man, they gotta ask Steven Keeler. I'm curious of what percentage he pays for those albums and what profit he gets back. Does he pay like half of what he charges? I don't know. But they make a killing, man.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably, we may want to consider having him on this show one of these days to talk about record store day, and just
Yeah.
what it entails. Because that's,
That would be cool.
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
I watched
Just
a
a
video
record
from a
store
guy called
business.
I watched a video from a guy called The In Groove. If anybody watches his channel, and he runs a record store, and he's in the what do they call it, the VC, where they're really into this is a VG plus. No, it's an excellent. They get really into the weeds. Who mastered it and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how he made such a loss in record store day a couple of years ago, a massive loss, because he just didn't know his audience. But over time, he's learned that Art Pepper for him, he could buy 100 and sell 100. Whereas before he was picking up one of everything, and then he was left with stuff that was, he had Rocky Erickson stuff from 7 years ago for $5. Nobody was buying. So it really is, it's put some out of business rather awkwardly,
Oh,
which is
for
kind of the
sure,
opposite of,
sure.
because he says he spends upwards of 6 figures on it. So it's quite an investment for the guys. So.
Yeah. Well, it's worth talking about on a future episode, maybe. So that's cool. All right,
Yeah.
Jamie, back to your pick. For
Yeah,
today.
my buddy Greg, who owns Used Kids Records here in Columbus, Ohio. If I go drinking with him, he'll go, "I'll buy you a beer." He takes out 100, 100, 100, 100. Oh, here's a 20. But he's one of those guys, I think, that keeps his money under the mattress kind of guys.
Yeah, I didn't even know. they
Every
came
time I
in
get a
hundreds.
text from him, it's like, oh, Greg knows how to text. But I got 4 things. I got the Alice in Chains repressing of their first EP. It was $15. And when you see things like for $39, $52, all of a sudden 15 seems like nothing. So I grabbed it. And I don't have Killing Yourself on anything. I think it was on their box set, which I don't have. So yeah, We Die Young and It Ain't Like That and Killing Yourself. Yeah, you know.
I had that on
something to
cassette
have.
back in the day.
Yeah. You buy
What
something like
happened?
that, and I have a nameplate for all my bands I have on vinyl. That's just nice to thicken up that, because I don't have a lot of Alice in Chains on vinyl. It just thickens up that Alice in Chains portion of my collection. I also got the Judas Priest Hero, because I've always loved this cover, and this one as an embossed, so it raises up a little bit from the rest of the cover. It's I never owned Rock-a-Rolla. It's the only Judas Priest album I've never owned, and this has all those songs, not in the same order though. It has Sad Wings of Destiny songs mixed in, So yeah, I don't need to hear Rock-a-Rolla all the way through in its normal order. I think I'll be all right with that for the rest of my life. Until I see an original pressing somewhere, I'm like, gotta have it. I picked this up. All right. The Offspring's Greatest Hits.
You have a
Here's the
greatest
thing
hits?
with the Offspring.
Sorry. Sorry.
I went to Rock on the Range a few years ago, 2019, which is a big heavy metal festival here at the Columbus Crew. Well, their old stadium now. They have a new stadium, a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
And you get 55, 60,000 people there at least. 4 stages, a comedy tent. It's ridiculously big. You feel like you're in another country when you go to it. And I'm just going 5 miles down the street. So the first day we were there in 2019 is a beautiful day, and they made everyone leave because a storm was coming. I'm watching Red Fang. I don't know if you guys know the stoner group Red Fang, and I'm loving it. First time I ever saw them. I'm 3 beers in, 3 $15 beers in. Everybody must leave because of weather. I'm like, it's beautiful. Well, a lot of people had no place to go because a lot of people Ubered there. Some people had to go back to their tents, poor people, because it stormed so bad that you could not see across the street. So I was in a little bar in walking distance, and we were crammed in there. And we were having a ball. Most of us didn't even want to go back to the show. It was so much fun. But the Offspring came on the jukebox. What did I do with my record? Here it is. Sorry, a little hungover. What the hell is the song that came on? Self-Esteem came on. And the whole bar was singing it. And I was playing percussion with a couple forks on the table. And it was just one of those beautiful moments in life that I always think about. And when I saw this, I thought of that moment. I'm like, this will be a fun record. But when I put it on, I forgot how many annoying songs they have. Some of these are way annoying. Come out and play. Got to keep them separated.
Yeah. Okay.
Kids aren't all right is okay. Why don't you get a job? I think that's a give it to me, baby. I'm like, that's unlistenable. Why did I buy this?
Yeah, it is.
And all
That
the
was
songs
come out
I
and
like,
play.
I have on the original CDs I bought in the 90s. Gotta Get Away is great. Gone Away is great. Pretty Fly for a white guy. Oh my God, that was cute for like 5
Hey,
minutes
baby.
back in 1999 or whatever year it came out.
I think
Yeah.
about 3.5 minutes, really. But
And I got the Gojira live at Brixton Academy, which was on a CD DVD set maybe about 8 years ago or something. Very hard to find that set. It sells for, I don't know, over $100, maybe over $200. I can't remember. But this is all of that on vinyl. So that's cool to have. And Mario, putting him on the cover is the right thing to do because I think he is the best active drummer out there in hard rock today. Guy slays. And there's a drum solo on here. And I always say every 70s live album is ruined by the drum solo. This drum solo lasts for, I don't know, 2.5 minutes. And then it goes right into the axe. So it's a great solo. It's quick. It's over. It goes into the next song. So yeah, I recommend that. It's probably still floating out there. I bet you Steven still has like 4 copies of it sitting there in his bin. So there you go.
Cool. All right, some good stuff.
Jamie,
All
I
right,
did.
we got
man.
Armando next, and I'm going to go off camera for a second, so I got to run and let my dogs in, but I'll be back in a second. But Armando, what do you got?
Okay, well, guys, we talked about the curse being real. It's not only real, it hurts. It hurts the pocket.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking through my collection here. Hold on, not yet. He's brand new to this, guys. So I was looking through my collection and I bought a bunch of stuff, as you guys saw online, but they're not in yet. So I was looking through my collection of what other stuff I have that I can show that I haven't played yet or listened to fully. And I realized about 40 minutes ago, my selections have a theme running through them, right? So the first one is a Rush set called R40.
Mhm.
Okay, so if Bob can try and show us here, it comes in a book format. It's a 10 DVD set, right? This came out in 2014. I got it about a year and a half ago. I only watched 1 DVD of this. Seriously. So to me, it's still brand new, right? And I even have, I'll try and share the screen here. I have the slip sheet that with all the information on it, right? Brand new, not even a crinkle in it until now, right? So it's a and I'm going to read what's on here. It's 10 DVDs, all double DVDs of the concerts. You have Russian Rio, you have R30, you have Snakes and Ladders Live, you have the Time Machine Tour, and you have the Clockwork Angels Tour on this. So this is a massive set. And
All your mandatory Rush live releases from the last.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be sequestered in a room and you wouldn't need to leave. Like you would have everything you need in here. There's a bonus disc in here. Bob's going to try and open the. We didn't really practice this, guys, so please forgive us. It's got a bunch of. He's going to stand up right now. It's got a bunch of live pictures, and I know Pete, you like the live pictures, so Bob just.
Yeah.
And okay, it's okay. And the last pages are like board pages, so that you've got the here we go, some of the live shots,
Nice.
right? Okay, all right, okay. And you've got board pages here where the DVDs are slid into, right? Okay, you don't have to show everything, but and the bonus disc of this one has got my God, Rush live in St. Catharines, Ontario at Laura Seacourt High School, 1974.
I was going to say that's
Right, like it's a classic. You've got
How's the audio sound on that?
pretty good. I mean, for where they are, they're basically in the gym,
Yeah.
right? You've got the MC, like in his, like a salesman jacket kind of a thing, right? Like loud tie kind of a thing, introducing the band, right? And it features John Rutsey on drums,
Right.
right? You've got on the bonus disc, you also have them at the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey, 1976.
More like it.
Which is like a 30-minute set. They're opening up, right? And you also have them doing concert at the Molson Amphitheater, June 30th, 1997, which the Molson Amphitheater was literally around the corner from where I live. Like I could walk to the venue. And this was the Test for Echo tour. So, and you have a foreword by Martin Popoff.
Cool.
So
Never heard of him.
Yeah, right. So yeah, no, this is a fantastic set. So I mean, if you're a Rush fan, this is an essential purchase. It retails. I got it for like something like $130 at the
Not bad.
time, and it retails for like 114 now, right?
Okay.
And I remember because I called the record store at the time and I said, you know, they were going to hold it for me because I was going to go in the next day. So when I showed up, the guy behind the counter is like, we're looking for it. He's like, I can't seem to find it. You're gonna need to come back. I'm like, no, it's there. I'm not leaving. Look for it. Right? Oh, I found it. Okay, well, thank God, right? Because I was going to take the store down if they didn't have it, right? But yeah, no, that's my first one, and it's a fantastic set.
I have this,
Very cool.
and I'm not. It's the R40 live short version, and I'm not like Sidney Taylor, who has a problem with Getty's vocals, but I have a problem with his vocals on this.
Yeah.
Sounds like a shell of himself. It's crackling. I can't listen to it.
Yeah, he got a little warbly there in the last couple of tours, I think.
Yeah.
They toured too hard in the last couple. I think they knew they were coming to an end and they just toured far too hard for his voice.
He can't hit the notes anymore. He can't hit the proper.
None of them.
octave.
Not even. It's just not like he can't hit the high notes. He can't hit any of them.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You know, it's called aging, I guess, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
all
unfortunately,
lose it,
that's
right?
that's the problem.
It was okay. It was okay in Clockwork Angels, and that's only 2 years earlier.
Yeah,
So it's,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I saw him on that tour. He
tour,
sounded
and
okay.
it was okay. Yeah, it was.
yeah. So
Yeah, but
That
when he tries to hit the notes for like closer to the heart, and it's just no.
A little more challenging.
Real early stuff is hard for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you won't see him doing the entire suite of 2112. You know, like you know, and I mean they did on this, but there is a section where they do perform the entire suite. I believe it's on the Test for Echo set. But very quickly, that Test for Echo. It's very much like the moving pictures. It's not edited. It's what you see is what you get. It's not doctored or anything. It's not even supposed to be released. So they kept it for this. So it's a good set to get.
Cool. That looks it. Awesome. All right, Scott.
Yes, sir. All right. My first pick today is Dio. 5 classic albums. Actually, wrote
never heard of him either.
why I did, but and
Strangers. right?
up at Piranha Records in Round Rock, Texas, which is about 30 miles from my house in South Austin. It's only the second time I'd been there, and I had an epic haul that day. Somebody had just unloaded a whole bunch of great hard rock and metal, and it's kind of like Jamie was talking about last time. Like somebody either died or was born again and had to release to get rid of all their demon rock and roll.
Now, Born Again was the album Dio wasn't on. Thanks.
Exactly. Well, I didn't care. Prices were good, and I got a hell of a haul. And most of the stuff was about $4 or 3 for $10. And so that was pretty nice. And I got a couple of box sets that day too. And I've always been a fan of Ronnie James Dio since high school and all his various bands in Rainbow and Sabbath. And of course, when he formed his own band, Dio, had those first 2 cassettes and played the shit out of them in summer '84. That November, I saw them at Reunion Arena in Dallas and on the Last in Line tour. And of course, they kicked all kinds of ass, performing songs from the first 2 Dio albums and some Rainbow and Black Sabbath favorites too. I was going to show the shirt I bought, but haven't been able to locate it. It's somewhere in my garage, I think. And if I ever find it, I'll post it in the comments later. It's like gray with baseball sleeves and the big demon guy on the front. And my mom flipped when she saw that shirt, you know, kind of like Pete when your mom saw the Born Again shirt, you know.
Never heard the end of that. Yeah.
Same here.
I got in trouble at my Catholic grade school for wearing Judas Priest. And the nuns were like, Judas? Oh my God, he was not a good guy, and you're putting priest next to that? They called my parents.
Oh, just wait, lady, it gets better. So fast forward to 2 years ago, and I'm watching SOT, and I'm listening to most metal and hard rock I have in many years. And I'm buying and rebuying a lot of albums from those genres. And Holy Diver and The Last in Line were two of the first that I bought, having unloaded all my old cassettes years ago. Here they are in all their wonderful glory.
Yep.
So fast forward to several weeks ago and saw this baby at the record store. I've been wanting to expand my Dio collection for a while, and the price was right. So needless to say, the first two Stone Cold classics, don't need to really elaborate on them much because they've been talked about a lot on the channel, and obviously 5 stars, 4.5. So and the sound quality is pretty good on these, I would say, for like a kind of a economy set. So let's go to Sacred Heart. This was one I did not buy when it came out. I remember my brother got it, and he got the vinyl, and I made a tape of it because that's something we did back then. You know, money was tight. Ended up playing it back then a few times, but then quickly just kind of forgot about it. Unfortunately, it's the last one that has Viv Campbell on guitar.
Yeah.
You know, loved him. He was awesome.
Before they're falling out with,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some excellent tracks on here, including the opener, King of Rock. Title track's really good. Rock and Roll Children's good, but it's a kind of an uneven album, a bit too
It
heavy
has shoot.
at the expense of the guitar on some tracks, which unfortunately happened a lot to a lot of great bands in the 80s. It just was a kind of a trend. And I remember liking the single Hungry for Heaven at the time, but it hasn't aged very well. It sounds like he was trying a little too hard to have a crossover hit. And
It's from Vision Quest, the movie, wasn't
ultimately it doesn't work. And yes, it was in the Vision Quest soundtrack. I do remember that. Decent album, but I would say it's easily the weakest of the 5 here. And I give this one 3 out of 5. Moving on, Dream Evil, 1987, which
I like that one.
or kicks some serious ass. I'd say major improvement over Sacred Heart. And this is the first one without Viv Campbell. Craig Goldie, who only plays on this album, steps in on guitar, and the band doesn't miss a beat. They sound awesome, kicking all kinds of ass. Shame on me for ignoring it. And
That's Martin Popoff's favorite Dio album, and it's hard for me to argue with him.
It's pretty good. I'd rank it 3rd of the ones I've heard.
That's my 3rd. Yep.
Yeah.
And David, Martin Popoff is this author guy. He writes a lot of books.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of him.
I got to check that one out in a few months.
He does some Friday show with someone. I don't know, like
Yeah.
About a fun house,
I don't know.
like they
Friday?
talk about
Canadian,
stuff all
right?
day or something.
I thought that was a
Something
Saturday
with the-
Night Live ripoff.
Yep, and they talk about the weather.
Yeah, they talk
Never
about the
heard of him.
weather. and
That's it. He's a
peanut butter and-
weatherman. That's it. Nick's got it. That's where I know his name. He's a weatherman.
in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
He says it's cold, and then that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
much
it's pretty
good.
nice out here today. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I'm going on a little bike ride later on, and yeah, here's my
Moving
signed
on,
copy of the
guys, come
bicycle.
on, moving on.
So anyway,
Yeah,
Night People
man.
is a great
Yeah,
barn
man.
burner from this
I love
one.
the weather too.
Title track, All the Fools Sail Away, some other good standouts. You got All the Fools has that great melodic acoustic intro, and then in come the crunching guitars, and he does that kind of song very well. Just gets to really show his range on the vocals there. And this one I'd rate 4 out of 5. And then we come to Lock Up the Wolves, 1990. Also, listen, I liked it. I mean, it's not as good as Dream Evil, but
Yeah.
I think it's better in Sacred Heart.
I agree.
Yeah, we lost Goldie, but and we also lost Jimmy Bain, Vinny. Hang on,
We've lost most.
Jay or Appice.
Apathy, yep.
Those guys pronounce their names like what, 3 different ways?
But
Yeah,
there's,
well, I think the
Vinny
story
Appice,
is-
Carmine
Is it
Appice.
apathy or a piece? Like
Carmine pronounces
This is what
it
Carmine
Appice.
told me. All
Yeah.
right. So Carmine told me directly. He said the real way to say it is a piece. The traditional Italian is a piece, a pice, or a piece.
A piche. Yeah,
There
I
you
got
go.
that.
That's the real way to say it, but the family always said it apice. But like when Carmine was first coming up in the Vanilla Fudge and they were getting popular, anytime journalists would ask him his name, he would say it and they would keep pronouncing it incorrectly. So he got tired of that and he goes, a piece, that's it. No apice, a piece. And so
then-
Well,
that
when
was
you
easy.
say
decided to
appice,
go with
you
appice,
pronounce it
yeah.
appice, it just sounds like an extra letters there that's not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be consistent.
Yeah. I know, right?
Anyway,
Sorry,
Ronnie,
sorry.
I think
Got
Ronnie
sidetracked
was
again.
pretty good at picking the right musicians. Rowan Robertson.
Oh yeah.
He was only 18 on guitar here. Simon Wright on drums, Teddy Cook on bass, and Jens Johansson on keyboards. Like its four predecessors, this album kicks off with another great ass kicker, wild one. They always had a great opener, or at least five anyway. I can't speak for the later ones, but Between Two Hearts and Night Music are also some good standouts. And unlike its predecessors, this one has 11 songs, where traditionally they had 9 before this. And it clocks in at over an hour, which kind of became a common occurrence in the 90s.
Filling the CDs, yeah.
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 But I think the album has a good flow to it and it doesn't seem overlong. So this one I'm going to give 3.75 stars.
And the good thing about Dio is you've kind of got half the catalog there straight away, studio wise.
Yeah,
I mean,
it seemed like a good way to.
He's
to
done
get acquainted.
loads of. He did like Holy Diver live and things, the Hammersmith, but
If
I would like to get a
studio-wise,
good live one.
yeah.
If the music
Yeah.
is good, you don't
Yeah.
mind the length. I mean, if the music
It was
carries
an
it-
awesome show when I saw him. I loved it. So those
I
three.
only saw him once. Yeah. Heaven and Hell.
Saw
Those
him
three
3
albums followed
times.
the last in line and say they're all worth getting. Glad I bought this. Some lineup changes along the way, and that's going to put some people off. But I think the bands continue to kick ass and take names. And Ronnie always brought his A game on the vocals. When didn't he? Right? And one of the greatest voices in metal, if not all of music. I mean, just operatic.
So versatile. Yeah. Yeah.
He could have sang any kind of music he wanted to. Basically.
And if it's not too personal, what kind of price point did you pay for that? Just so people.
I think it was 16.
Right.
It's
So
not bad at all, really.
$3 and something each,
Yeah.
I think
That.
$3.20 each. That'll do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say,
all their used CDs were pretty reasonably priced.
You can
And
track down
hard
Scott if
stuff
you're
there,
ever
too.
interested in going forward
Mhm.
with, because you only have another, what is it,
4 or 5.
or 5. You can.
I think you had 10 on your ranking, Pete.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
is
so
Magic.
so 5. So you can track down
True.
Magica
5.
and the Dragon
The
album
Dragon.
and
Strange Highways.
Strange
You
Highway.
may not want to
Magic,
cut down Magica, but
Magica was re-released about a year and a half ago. I have the reissue of it.
Yeah,
Of those 5 remaining ones, which ones do you guys think is the best one?
I love Strange Highways. I think
Strange Highways is the heaviest.
So
Angry
Strange Highways
Machines
he
is the
did right
worst.
after the Dehumanizer Black Sabbath thing split up, and it's
And it was the
Right.
stuff he
As
was
heavy
he
as
was
that.
going to use. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had it meant to use for that. So.
but they're all good. They're all solid, and you can get them all used for a couple bucks if you search
Right.
for them. You know,
And I saw him on the Angry Machines tour, and they called that place a club. That was a bar. He was playing in a bar that year. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe how small it was.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he had an odd career, didn't he? He went from the big stadiums and arenas down to literally record stores sometimes and things. And,
It got to a point where
And
the
then
Dio
became a
stuff
legend.
wasn't really paid much attention to, but if he reunited with Sabbath, that stuff got
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, and then that always blew up because they'd go home to suck on the Osborne teat and take the quick buck. But I'm really glad that Ronnie went out with Heaven and Hell. That was such a happy. I mean,
That was a
obviously,
high
Dennis-
note. Yeah, and go
But
out
at
on a-
least
on a good
he
note
went
like that.
out. He went out on complete adoration under his own terms.
Yeah, he did.
And when I saw
Absolutely.
that tour, those guys were having a ball on stage.
Wish I had
Can-
seen that. Yeah.
Complete contrast to when I saw Sabbath with Ozzy, and they were all miserable. You could tell they were just cashing the checks every
It
single
just
I
night.
kind of
saw
felt
an
like that ship
interview.
had sailed. Yeah.
I saw an interview he did that Dio did for Germany media, and he pulled no punches. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
about the
if you're on his
fact
bad
that,
side, yeah.
he says if you really want to know the truth, sorry, Pete, I don't mean to sidetrack, but he said, if you really want to know the truth, Sabbath got greedy and they wanted to go back with Ozzy. And then Ozzy turned around and said, I don't want to do this anymore. So then they got screwed. So he looks on the camera and says, you want to talk about what happened? You guys screwed it up. You deal with it, you know, and it's your issue. And I won't tell you exactly what he said because it's you know, it's pretty bad.
Drama.
But it's like he pulled no punches. If he thought you were an asshole, he called you that out, like out and out. Like he didn't
I
care.
can respect that.
You know,
Yep.
because he had the experience behind him. He knew, right? I mean, because he lived it. So
Yeah, and they also had the kind of New York street tough Napoleon syndrome as well, didn't they? You know,
Right.
the
The
little
New
man he
Yorkers,
always had
yes,
to fight.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yes,
I will say this.
indeed.
I like Ozzy. I love the stuff with Randy Rhoads. As far as the later parts of their catalogs, I'd take Dio over Ozzy any day.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yep, I'd agree. Cool. Well, that's a cool little set you got there. That's a good start there to
Thanks, sir.
having all of them. So Nick, what do you got to show us here? on
Alrighty.
the First go around.
Yes. Well, I had a dream last night that I went to the movies. I am the pun master, so I think you can kind of figure out where this is going. And I went and saw a certain concert. They did not perform a boring, exhausting 2-hour The Astonishing. Instead, Dream Theater, live at Luna Park, which is in Brazil, I believe. And there's some person going in, why they're going into the this part, the propellers, I don't know, but that's irrelevant. This is a deluxe edition. I'm trying to read this 6 disc, 2 DVD, Blu-ray, 3 CD, Dream Theater Live from Buenos Aires, filmed during 2011-2012, a dramatic turn of events. Deluxe edition featuring pretty much that, and also includes a download code to view 6 p.m. interactively in 360 with multiple camera angles. This is really a beautiful set, and I have the Blu-ray I watched recently, and let me tell you, 2 hours and 40 minutes of astonishing, the astonishing music.
bloody hell.
Yes.
Metaphorically, not literally.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I have just the regular
Collector.
CD version of that, and that's a good set.
Yes.
Look at that, nice.
Yeah.
That's like the thing nowadays when they really they release these things in these big, like kind of they almost look like they're LPs or big books, and then, you know, all the discs are just kind of like on 1 page or 2 pages.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like,
just really difficult for me to physically handle, right?
Right.
Like to maneuver.
my only issue with them is I don't know where to put them, like on the shelf.
Exactly.
They don't. I don't have
Exactly.
shelves made for that big
Right.
pile of things.
Yeah, I
They're
just
visually
make a whole
beautiful,
shelf
right?
for them.
I have to
years.
I have to put mine in the ottoman, like, you know, and like,
Yeah.
you know, hide them somewhere, you know, and I forget they're there, which I did with
Yeah.
the Rush.
Well, Scott, you probably Nick, because you've been recently like creating that basement you have and shelves, because you have so many things like that, you probably, because you're just in the process of building everything, you probably can make shelves that are specific to stuff that size, right? Because there's, you know, many come to mind that have been coming out in that format.
Yeah, that one, right. It's a rough journey. It's a lot of time going down there, and I'm trying to get it done. It's just daily, just doing it like an hour or 2 every day. I may actually just go down there, and I actually do have to step off camera when I'm done here for a minute. So I'll probably just show everyone what it's like, the progress I'm making. But yeah.
Hearst, it's not for the faint of heart.
No,
That
it's
one, right.
It's
Yes, sir.
not. It's not.
Actually, I do have a quote from Chris Allo here. I want to bring that up. Hang on a second.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it at? How about you can still see me,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is, how bad is it for him? Shows you how organized I am today. Gotcha. I have stuff in my house, my basement, my attic, in my 4 garages, my 2 lofts, and then I had to start putting stuff at my mother's house.
That is typical
There
Chris
is.
Allo. Yep.
It's a
We have
serious
got to get
problem.
Chris on here, man.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So I've been,
He would love to come on. The problem with Chris is on the weekends, he is not a morning guy. So like
Yeah.
if we ever
I
do
don't
these a
blame
little
him.
bit later, we could probably get him on here.
I'm here. I'm playing injured.
We'll work on
I
that.
could always
Thank you.
take later too.
We'll work
so,
on that.
you
We're
know,
we're
if
also
you want
also
to
gonna
come
we're
on.
gonna get Stephen Reed on here at some point too, because he wants to be a part of this, but he couldn't
Nice.
this week. So yeah,
That'd be awesome.
so,
That'd be cool.
yeah, we got to get two Scots in one, two Scotsmen in one show. We got that.
But he's from the north and I'm from the south. Don't put us in the same room, Pete.
All
Two
right.
Scotsmen and a Scot.
Jeez.
right.
You'll get Braveheart.
Jesus, okay.
Uh,
Wait, was that Scottish?
Speaking
Yes,
of
it
our
was
resident
Scots.
Scotsman, all right, Davey, you're up.
All right. I gotta step off camera.
Cheerio, Nick. Well, this rather annoyed me because all week I thought nobody's brought this up anywhere that I've seen, and I thought, oh, this is great. I'm going to slip this under the radar on the show. And then last night, Lewis Nasser put it up. It is Ann Wilson's new album,
Oh yeah.
Fierce Bliss, with a Roger Dean cover. If you couldn't bloody tell, and that's
Yeah, it's a dead
Um,
giveaway. The cover.
yeah.
I just
Although,
ordered it.
you know,
actually. Yep, it's
I
on
don't
the way.
really associate him with parrots.
Yeah,
very
I
much,
hear
but,
you.
Maybe if it was on a floating island or something. But yeah, so it's
Oh, look at that.
but even kind of, I was going to say even touches up Ann Wilson, but that sounds a bit. It does some work on some portraits of her as well. So it's a nice little digibook. The main attraction for this start was that she does quite a few covers. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And looking at where the things were recorded, I wonder if it started out as a covers project and then was changed. Because the big one is Bridge of Sighs. She does that with Kenny Wayne Shepherd on guitar, and he's not sounded better in years. Just some people seem to think Kenny Wayne Shepherd disappeared, but he was in a supergroup with Stephen Stills just a few years ago. If anybody remembers The Rides, they formed a band together, released 2 albums. But then she does, and this is the low point of the album for me, because Bridge of Sighs is fantastic. Like the Troy original, it's very moody, it's very heavy. She doesn't change much, but she also doesn't change much in a song that I like, but I don't think it's for Ann Wilson, and it's certainly not for a guest star. She does Love of My Life by Queen. And she does it as a duet with Vince Gill.
Vince
No.
Gill.
Country, think Chris Isaac.
From the
but
90s.
not-
The Eagles,
you know.
yeah. He's with the Eagles now. Yeah.
Is he? So that explains why I don't care about him. And then the next, I hate the Eagles. Blandness personified. Then the next track's also a cover. It's a really left field one. I don't know how this happened, but she does Missionary Man by the Eurythmics. Which was already a little bit bluesy, but she turns out into a real blues stomper. It's absolutely unreal.
Who else
and then,
does a good version of that? Ghost.
yeah, she should be the new Papa, shouldn't she? That'd be awesome. And then the last cover on it is "Forget Her," the Jeff Buckley song, which she does again quite faithfully, where it's very quiet start and then ends up as quite a heavy track, but overall she sounds absolutely fantastic on it, from start to finish. It's produced excellently. There's all sorts of great ambient sounds in the background. There's great keys that pick up the place of synths and stuff, so it sounds like there's a Hammond on it, even though it's all just on one keyboard and things. It sounds absolutely great. It's terrific from start to finish, apart from that Queen cover, which is just not suited to her. And it's, Vince Gill, I don't know, are they trying to sell this down in Nashville or something? That's the only explanation I can come up with. And it ends with a nice quiet as the world turns. For me, another exciting aspect, though, is the 2 tracks feature and are co-written by Warren Haynes of Government Mule and formerly of the Allman Brothers, including Angels Blues, which is probably my pick of the bunch here. But although people have kind of shared Bridge of Sighs online, an original track on here called Greed is the opener, and I definitely recommend that one as a kind of sampler if people want to check that out. So check out Greed if you want to know what Anne's kind of up to. But I want to pull a Pardo, because if we're talking about Bridge of Sighs, also out this week, Robin Trower's new album, substitute one for t'other. No More Worlds to Conquer. And again, I've not seen much about this online, even though it's, it's RT. It's what you expect from Robin. The good news is he's not singing on this one.
That's why I ordered it. That's why.
He's got the slightly bad news is he's got Richard Watts singing. Richard Watts is his, how to describe him? It's his version of Tony Martin, where if he can't get his kind of number 1 and 2 choices, he's always got him in reserve, so we'll bring him in. And I've seen him with Richard a few times, and he's a very competent, throaty singer. But people say, oh, he sounds like Paul Rodgers. It sounds more like Don Henley, to go back to the Eagles' dullness. And his voice just isn't great. But in places, it works on this, because Trower is very much doing a classic Trower. Not that he ever changes too much, but he's specifically doing a very classic Trower thing here, where Ball of Fire kicks things off with a real riff-laden lady love kind of thing. It's got that kind of feel to it. No More Worlds to Conquer slows it right down again. Deadly Kiss is a kind of epic. Birdsong sounds a bit like well, what's the Stevie Wonder song that he wrote for Jeff Beck? Because We Ended as Lovers.
Yeah.
Sounds like that. That's the kind of vibe that it's got from that. So there's a more soulful sound to this than you maybe normally get from Robin. And then the Razor's Edge towards the end of the album is probably the best track on it. So it's not going to be anybody's come to God moment or come to Trower moment. But I'd say that if you're already on board the Trower train, then, it's another nice stop along the journey. But probably not best to start here. I'd still go back to the Chrysalis years. There's a great box set of that stuff, the Jimmy Dure stuff. But yeah, it's a nice addition to a catalogue. For a guy that's 76, he still sounds absolutely fantastic on guitar.
Cool. Yeah, I ordered it because he wasn't singing, and his what 5? He's done the vocal.
Yeah,
he's just not a good singer. It's like I love Robin to death, but man. So anything is better than him singing. It's just, you want to support him, but geez, Robin, get a real singer, please.
When I saw him, and I've seen him probably more than just about anybody apart from Wishbone Ash, and it was advertised that Richard was on the tour, but David Pattinson was in town that night because he's from Glasgow, and he was visiting family or whatever, and he came on and did the show that night. So it was an unadvertised Pattinson Trower reunion, and I didn't even know, nobody knew this was happening, and I didn't know until I went to go into the toilet, and out from the toilet comes David Pattinson, who says, "I wouldn't go in there, son. Somebody just done a massive shite," and just kept walking past me. I was like, "Yeah, thanks for the heads up." And to this day, I think it was David Pattinson, but
we'll never know. We'll never.
Yeah.
Know.
I actually almost walked in on Nancy Wilson using the bathroom one time.
Oh, really?
At a record store. She was doing a little acoustic show, and I needed to use the bathroom again at my buddy Greg's place. And I was about to open the door when somebody stopped me, one of her, guys. I was like, oh, crap. And then I used the toilet after a real rock and roll hall.
There you go.
That's something. Feather cap.
Well, when I met Bernie May, that never happened, but that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks.
I'm looking forward to hearing that Ann Wilson album. I've heard that the original material is actually very strong, and I got to be honest. When Nancy's album came out last year, I picked it up as soon as it came out, and I enjoyed it, but man, I haven't listened to it since. It's like after maybe 4 or 5, 6 listens, I was like, I got bored with it. I don't know.
Anne's the voice for me that's kept it the last decade or so. I mean, ever since that Kennedy Center show where she did the Led Zeppelin Stairway thing, and
Jason
that
Bourne,
kind of that kind of put them back on a trajectory that sadly. Are we going to see them back together?
Is amazing. I clicked on
really
Lewis's link the other day. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, she's not done much different with it, but I think Bridge of Sighs is such a great moody song that you don't need to. Who wants to hear a rearranged Bridge of Sighs, especially when you've got Kenny Wayne Shepherd playing on it, who's stunning guitar player.
Yeah, he kills it.
That's
But
another one I got to pick up.
yeah, love of my life. No, thank you. That's
Curse.
Another
so
good example of Hart or of Ann and Nancy doing Zeppelin on the single soundtrack. There's a song called they do a cover of Zeppelin's Battle of Evermore, and they're billed as the Love Mongers. Great.
Oh, that came out years ago. Yeah, that's a good version.
Oh, like 92, I think.
Yeah, well,
Singles, 30 years ago.
Yeah, that was a side project.
I forgot about that. Yeah, good stuff. All right, my first selection of today, I have to actually thank Scott for this, because Scott and I were kind of chit-chatting on Facebook like 2 weeks ago or whatever, and he was asking me questions about Jaco Pastorius stuff to get. And he was
right
at
there in a record store.
He was at a record store, and he's like, have you ever heard this? He took a picture of me, like, you ever heard this? And I'm like, no, like that must have just come out or something. So he wound up not getting it, but I did. And it's a Jaco Pastorius Truth, Liberty, and Soul 2-disc live set from 1982, recorded at Avery Fisher Hall in New York City at the George Wine's Cool Jazz Festival. So this is basically like Jaco's big band word of mouth group doing, lots of covers and a lot of his original stuff, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So I'll just kind of show off this set here. All right, there's Jaco right there.
On Amazon before.
Yeah, that's where I got it. I got it on Amazon, and it comes with this amazing, like thick, like 100-page booklet, which has, all sorts of cool photographs and info about Jaco and his career and the event, and, who plays on it. It's like a who's who of jazz cats from the day. And, the set list is absolutely incredible. So I'll just rattle it off real quick for you here. Let me tell you who's in the band. So it's the Word of Mouth Big Band. So we got Jaco on bass, Bob Mintzer on tenor and soprano saxophone, Randy Brecker on trumpet, Othello Munoz on steel drums, Donnie Elias on percussion, Peter Erskine on drums, and then on saxophones, Bob Stein, Lou Marini, Frank West, Howard Johnson, Randy Emmerich on trumpets, Alan Rubin, Lou Soloff, John Faddis, Ron Tooley, Kenny Falk, trombones, David Taylor, Jim Pugh, Wayne Andre, French horns, John Clark, Peter Gordon, tuba, David Bargeron, and special guest Toots Thelmans on harmonica. So it's a lot of people. It's really cool, but he's got invitations on here. You've got Donna Lee's on here, 3 Views of a Secret, Sophisticated Lady. So there's weather report stuff on here as well. A cool take on I Shot the Sheriff. Giant Steps from Coltrane, Mr. Phonobone, a bass and drum solo, Fannie Mae's on here. There's tons of stuff. It's really, really good. It's the whole show, and I highly recommend it if you love Jaco Pastorius and you love, like, the kind of called the big band stuff, fusion stuff. And I do real quickly before I turn it back over to Jamie. They had a local record and CD show here in the Hudson Valley in Beacon, New York yesterday. So me and my 2 colleagues, Wild Bill and Kirk Manning over at Comic Book Geezers, we went to go check it out and picked up a couple like $2 specials. So I got Miles Davis, 7 Steps to Heaven, after yesterday's epic Miles Davis show. John McLaughlin, Aldo Meola, Paco de Lucia, Passion, Grace, and Fire, which I never had on CD. I had it on cassette back in the day. I got Kiss, Psycho Circus. Not a very good album for $2. Why
Never
not?
had that?
Never had it. No, never bought it.
Really?
And this I had on LP back in the day. Never replaced it on CD. Eat 'Em and Smile by David Lee Roth. $2.
Oh,
Can't
God.
beat it.
His best.
And Neil Young, Freedom, $2.
Oh yeah,
I just listened to that not
That's
too
a great
long ago.
album. I love that album.
Keep on rocking in the free world. I mean,
Yeah.
crime in the city.
Pete, that Jaco's definitely on my get list.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's
This is the one I ended up getting that day. I ended up getting Word of Mouth, which is his only
I have that.
Which is
That's
awesome.
studio solo album.
Yep.
Good.
So basically this is the extension of that Scott played live on stage. Fantastic. So
Yeah.
So there you go. Back to Jamie.
Well, first of all, I love that Miles Davis show. I watched it right before we started this taping. I love watching people who know Miles Davis well talk about Miles Davis, because I kind of and like a really cool course of some
Oh,
I think he's frozen.
He's
Did
frozen.
we lose Jamie?
Did we lose him?
Did we lose him? Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Jamie is frozen solid in the Antarctic here.
It's turned down at the proxy again.
I guess
Yeah.
we'll get back to Jamie.
All right, so we'll get back to Jamie. So Armando, we'll go to you, and then we'll circle back with Jamie.
Oh, okay. So he is frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do a double shot of Canadiana today. And like I said before, the curse hurts. It's not only real, it bloody hurts. Okay. I was watching very quickly. I was watching the other day your ranking on Max Webster, a group from Canada, formed in Toronto, 1972, featuring Kim Mitchell on guitar. And I realized after watching your ranking that I have what is here. I'll try and hold it up. A box set that came out
That one.
in 2017 called The Party. Now, this set contains all of the the Kim Mitchell studio output, all of the albums, 5 albums, 1 unofficial live bootleg CD, the Live Magnetic Air CD, and the Kim Mitchell EP from, I think it was from 82, which
Yeah.
features 5 tracks. Okay.
Which Martin Popoff called the best EP of all time, I believe.
Yeah.
Not that I know who
I
Martin
believe so.
Popoff is.
I
but,
believe so. And like I said, there is a theme to this, guys. And no, I just think, I mean, watching the ranking again, and I was listening to the CDs. I gotta tell you, Max Webster, for me, I mean, they are the most underrated band. Canada, well, they were popular in Canada, like they really hit in Canada, but in the US, they were signed to, first of all, they were also signed to Rush's label, Anthem, in Canada. They were signed to Mercury in the US, and they were signed to Capitol EMI in, I think, in the UK. And they never really hit it big in the US. I mean, they toured a lot with Rush, and they just had a unique style. Kim Mitchell as a guitarist, forget about it.
Really good.
As a songwriter, I mean, unbeatable. I mean, unreal. I mean, he has a songwriting partner through stage name of Pi Dubois, right? And I mean, they just wrote so many memorable songs. I mean, even on the first album, I mean, they're rocking, but they're a little quirky too. The one track on the first album, Toronto Tontos,
Yep.
I mean, you have to listen to it. It is that good, and it's that quirky, right? And the one song that kept coming into my head was sorry, one coffee today, and I'm still screwed up. Let Go the Line. That one track, and it's the one track that just kept going over in my head, like, you know, and it's just a beautiful, for me, it's a beautiful atmospheric track. It was written by Watkinson, the keyboardist, and he had a couple of songs per album, like on every album. And I mean, if Bob can come back into camera view here really quickly, I mean, he'll try and take out the CDs, right? If you look at the box, this is what we were talking about. This sucker, it is so bloody,
It's very
like
flimsy.
cheaply put together,
Yeah.
right? When I found this in the other room, the CDs were missing out of the box. They just fell out of the box. He had to look for them, and he had to tape here. He had to tape the flap together. I mean, this retailed, I got this for like $74 when it came out, right? I'm paying $76 for this shite. Like, come on. I mean, like, put some, reinforce the box a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, And
Yeah, it's one of the flimsiest boxes I've ever gotten on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this one, it's okay, Bob, thanks. And this one is no longer available on Amazon. Like if you go on eBay, you'll find it, gotta be careful. You'll find it for minimum $179, maximum 360.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like
No, I won't.
around, like beware, buyer beware. I'm telling you, do not do it. I was reading, I'm still reading Martin Popoff's book here. Hold on, can hold it up. If I can hold it up properly.
Live magnetic, yeah.
Yeah, Martin Popoff's, the biography on it. I'm still reading it. I'm a slow reader these days. It's fantastic, right? So as you can probably tell, Martin Popoff is a theme for me for today, for these presentations. But yeah, I mean, it's just a fantastic set. If you want to invest in a new group that you've never heard of Max Webster before, or maybe you've heard one or two tracks, please invest the time and just listen to the stuff. And you'll love it. I mean, if you love
Build your own box.
what was that?
Yeah, build your own box. Yeah.
Build your
Yeah,
own box.
I think that's how I'm gonna go.
Exactly. Build your
I'll
own
probably
box.
start with
You want
Universal
that-
Juveniles.
You want that
Yeah,
kind of
you
stuff in
want-
the box.
You want a good heart, like a good reinforced box for this one, because it's like
Yeah.
it's unreal. Like you can't even hold it properly. So, and I want to thank Bob for helping me with this. So.
Only song of theirs I remember here on the radio was Battle Scar from Universal Juveniles.
Yeah.
And I think that one got some play for a while because Geddy Lee was on it.
Well,
Yeah,
the
that's-
entire band, all of
Yeah, the
Rush,
whole band,
they
you're
all
right.
played. Apparently, they all
Right.
played together in the studio.
Paradise Skies was also released as a single here, and I think they had a video on MTV too, but it didn't really do that well. It should have, because it's a very cool song, very memorable, very hooky. But
Yeah,
And Martin's
all
right
the-
with that EP. That EP is absolutely stunning.
yeah,
yeah. Out of all the albums they released 5 albums, and they all went gold. And Diamonds, oh God, A Million Vacations went platinum. That was the one album, right? And he broke up the band really quickly because he just thought that he wasn't getting proper support from the record companies. So Kim Mitchell just said, okay, I'm done. I've had it, like enough, right? And they're a very underrated group, and they're fantastic.
And then Kim went for a soda.
and he went for a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went for I had purchased all those albums separately, in various CD issues and things like that. And then I was hunting down the live album, Max Webster live album, for many years. It was out of print. So finally one day I wanted it so bad. I think I spent like $50 or $60 on the CD. And then the box set came out like literally like a month later with it included in there. And I was like, and then some viewer sent me a message one day because I was talking about it on air. And he goes, I actually have 2 copies of the box set. If you want, I'll just send you one. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take it, because now I have all these nice remastered things. But literally after I spent all the money on the live CD, it's like, but whatever.
Yeah.
So Jamie's back. All right. Pick up where you left off. You're talking about Miles Davis.
Yeah, my internet just went out. No reason. So I'm on my 4G right now on my phone. I don't know where it cut off at, but I enjoyed it because I felt
You
like
were watching the show, yeah.
learning things. So I don't know if you saw that I was diving into my big box set, Miles Davis box set here. And I was going to say that if you're out there watching, and if you love this kind of stuff, join my Facebook page, Let's Get Physical, because it's all about this kind of stuff. You show off what you bought, you show us how you have the curse. I'm looking at my camera from my laptop instead of my phone. So yeah, Let's Get Physical on Facebook. It's a small community right now, but we're always growing. We're not losing anyone. You just take a picture of like Blu-rays, comic books, magazines, albums, CDs, whatever it is, books, novels, and we will support you in your curse and how you have it. And what I want to go into now needs a little bit of a backstory. I started collecting Kinks on vinyl maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And I thought this is a great band to try and get like original pressings from all their albums, because they're not way expensive. They're not like, you know, going to be in the $500 to $800 range. So this is a cool little collection that can be impressive, but not too pricey, but still challenging enough. I would love to do it with Miles Davis, but that would take me the rest of my life. Way too expensive.
2 lifetimes.
No doubt.
So what I do have, I think, is kind of an impressive Kinks collection. I have the Kinks, the Kink Controversy, but with the crappy.
Not the black cover. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Never
do
saw
have
that.
the full album cover. But in 1980, I think these were all Spanish pressings, and they are really nice. So what I want is an original with this. But this is cool to have in the meantime.
Yep.
This is also another one of those 1980 Spanish pressings.
Village Green.
The Kinks with their wordy album titles, man.
The Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society.
Yeah, Preservation Society is what I call it.
Yeah.
But it's a great pressing. This is another one of those 1980 pressings. I do have
First
an original
album.
pressing, but the American, you really got me. I would love an original. I'm out on this hunt for an original pressing of when it was just called the Kinks Self-Titled, a UK pressing.
You get that over here all the time, Jamie. Those are dime a dozen. Those ones.
Mail it to me.
Actually, if you pay a dime, you get told that's American money. Piss off, but you know,
Oh,
the
geez,
phrase
yeah.
sticks.
I'll text you my address. Kind of in the still in the
Different
shrink
cover
wrap.
again, yeah.
So that's cool. The mono, I found this in Philly when I was in Philly.
Different cover again.
It's a little beat up, but the vinyl's in really good shape. This is kind of hard to find. They might be a dime a dozen over there.
Oh, Percy.
Percy soundtrack, not the best Kinks album in the world, but this is the vinyl's in near mint, man. I drove like an hour to get it off some guy on Facebook Marketplace, and I got a deal on it too. I think I got it for like $20 maybe.
It's got God's Children on it, and it's got the way things used to be. Those are two brilliantly beautiful Ray Davies songs, and they're from a movie about a guy that gets a penis transplant.
Yeah, I listened to it once.
What?
Yeah,
It gets a
listen to
penis
it again.
transplant. Yeah.
Are we going there on the show? I didn't think we were going to go there on the show.
Ray did it. That's what it's about. Will Bennett stars in it.
Okay. I just did a double take. I was like, what the hell, man?
Got his, I don't know what camera. Got his junk covered by the little.
If we get Chris Allo on this show, we're going there all the time.
Oh my God. Okay.
This is nice to have.
They made
really
a sequel,
thought after
Percy's Progress.
in great shape.
Something else. Yeah. I'm not like everybody else.
I bought this, okay, at a
Hello,
record shop.
Lola.
In the back, it says rare 1970 gatefold original mint. Original. It is not original because the original, all this is blue and this is black.
Yeah.
So every time I figured that out once I got home. And that line from Star Wars always comes into my head when Darth Vader's talking about Princess Leia. She lied to us. He lied.
Can I explain something after Jamie's done, Pete? Just very quickly. It's in line with what he was talking about.
You want to say it now?
No. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm
I
sorry.
do have the 50th anniversary of Lola, another wordy album title. And that's really cool with pictures and original 45s, but the 45s look like the original 45s and CDs. And this also has a couple CDs where it's Ray Davies and Dave Davies recently just talking about the history of the Kinks. And the transcript is in the book, so you can read along with what they're saying. Then they'll play a song, then they'll talk about the song. It's like being in the room with them. That's really cool. This
is
if you
cool.
want an original pressing of Phobia,
Yeah, the last studio album.
$50. This is from 3 maybe, their last official album. This came out on Records Today about 2 years ago, and this is an underrated album though. And I got the original master recordings version of
I love
Misfits.
Misfits. I love Misfits.
One of my favorite albums by them.
Black Messiah.
Doesn't sound really that much better than my normal pressing. I guess so.
Rock and roll
the crown
fantasy.
jewel. Here's my crown jewel. A mint pressing.
Arthur.
Arthur. with Queen Victoria, of course. Now I bought this and I went to a record store here, Spoonful Records, and they had a copy of this, but it wasn't as in minty shape as this, but it had that. And what he did is he sold me this for $15 and then took $15 off the album that he was selling. That's when you know you got it bad. When you're buying just a little puppet thing for $15 a slide.
Looks kind of Monty Python-esque there.
Yeah.
It's intentional, yeah.
I do have I'm sorry if I'm going off.
No, this is great. I love the Kinks.
I
Think
can't
visual.
see you all at the same time, so it's very distracting.
Very cool.
But I'm just plunging ahead. This is still sealed. I wish I had like one of the ones from the 60s still sealed, but you know, Think Visual is an okay record.
Yeah, it's not very good.
But I like to say I have a Kinks album that's still sealed. But their very, very last album was To the Bone.
Yeah.
This CD came out in 1996. It's a hodgepodge of like live recordings. A lot of it's stripped down. There's 2 tracks on here that's Animal and To the Bone that were newer at the time in the studio. But I always thought, wouldn't it be cool to have this on vinyl? Because it was released in the UK on vinyl about 2 years before this, and it was only one album. So
Different track listing, yeah.
Is that this has a bunch of songs. This has like almost 30 songs on it, but the one vinyl that's really short has 2 songs on it. It's not on this one that has 30. So
you need both.
Online, and it's selling for at least $250. So there's no way I'm ever going to get that, or is there? Jeez. So Spoonful Records, you want to talk about somebody died. Somebody died and gave them a bunch of albums, and they are pricing about 12 a week and putting them out there. And they have vinyl albums that are
Good Lord.
They just put up an original pressing of the Division Bell from 1994 for sale. They want a few $100s for that. A lot of 90s stuff. They were selling Dio Strange Highways, $200 original UK pressing.
Damn.
They had a 1979 right now. I almost bought it. Quiet Riot album with Randy Rhoads on it. Things you just don't see. Right now they have Headless Cross by Black Sabbath. They want 125 for it. I did get this though. So this is now my crown jewel in my Kinks collection. I got it last Monday, I believe. And they only wanted $75 for it. And it's going for close to 300 online. So there you go. My new crown jewel in my Kinks collection. Collection spelled with a K, of course.
Say KK. Kinks collection. There you go. Nice.
Classic Kinks collection. KKK, the good kind, not the bad.
Yeah, the good kind.
Important distinction there, Jim.
Yeah.
Massively.
Armando, you wanted to share something real quick.
No,
right?
I just because with what Jamie was saying about something being an original, claiming to be an original pressing, etc. You gotta be really careful. I went into a record store a couple of years back, and I wanted to find an RCA pressing of David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust. Okay. And the guy tried to tell me that he did have one. Like, oh yeah, we've got it. It's in the section. So I went to look, and I took out the record, and it had the original yellow or orange RCA label in the middle. Right, even the layout the way it was, with the the RCA was on the side, and the Victor was on the other, like on the left side, and the right side was the Victor RCA. I looked at it carefully. It didn't say RCA, it said Bowie in the same font, right, as RCA. And I went to the guy, I said, and I looked, I'm like, this is not it. And it said Parlophone on the record jacket, right? I said to the guy, this isn't an RCA pressing. This is a Parlophone. Oh no, that's a misprint. That's a misprint. That's an RCA. I'm thinking, you mofo, if someone is going to come up to you and ask you for a specific record on a specific record label, give them credit that they know what they're talking about, right? In terms of what they're looking for. So yeah, so it's like, you got to really be careful, right? I mean,
yeah.
So you really got to watch what you're looking for. Like Bob didn't know what Bob was like, well, what's wrong with this? I said, it's not the original. It's like $30 for a reissue. So it's just, you really got to be careful with what you shop for.
She lied to us. That was Peter Cushing that said that, not
Yeah. She lied.
Correct.
Jamie, I had you muted because your phone is like, there's all this feedback coming from.
Buzzing, yeah. It really is a repeat of the proxy, isn't it?
Right now.
All right, let's move on to Scott.
All right, just real quick, Jamie, just you're talking about all these Kinks. Well, now he's gone. Anyway, all the Kinks original pressings. I still have my One for the Road live album from 1980 that I bought, and it's still one of my favorite live albums of all time. I guess when he watches it later.
I prefer the live half of Everybody's in Showbiz.
My second pick, Rory Gallagher. Check Shirt Wizard.
Oh, it's brilliant,
Wow.
Live, 1977.
My God.
Bought this at Waterloo Records, my usual go-to record store. Rory's one of the artists that I've discovered through SOT in the last couple of years. But my brother-in-law, Serge, he's been telling me for years how good he is. When I first heard him, I heard him years ago. I've heard him for a little bit, and I thought, he sounds a lot like Johnny Winter. And I like Johnny a lot. Nothing against Johnny, but I figured, well, we got one Johnny Winter. I don't need to hear another one, So I kind of blew him off and didn't listen to anything further for a long time. But then I come to find there's just so much more to him than that. He's just got such a range. And Sarge, if you're watching, you were right. This guy's amazing. He had a very enjoyable string of albums in the 70s and early 80s, and both his studio and his live output, just amazing stuff. Overall, I think he made shine best in the live setting, but his music seemed to be classified as blues rock mostly, but there's elements of country blues, folk, hard rock, and southern rock, even though he's an Irishman, or was an Irishman. Has a very unique and distinctive style of singing and playing. He doesn't really sound like anybody else. I mean, if you listen closely, and go through his whole catalog. And Pete, I know you're a big fan. Is it just me, or does it just sound like this guy on this one in particular? Just sound like he's just having a ball, like he's just.
Roddy was usually quite lubricated for these kind of shows. So,
Maybe that's it. But there's a great positive energy coming from this.
Yeah, he lived to play live. That's what he.
Which sounds a little weird talking about a blues player, because that's supposed to be sad music, right? Anyway, this show, this set, it's from 4 different dates in January and February of 1977, playing at various venues, including Hammersmith Odeon in London. And it was released in 2020. So
yeah, 2 years ago.
Why today till 2020? In fact, there've been a few releases in the last few years. So he wasn't a big seller in the US back when he was alive, but I think maybe he's picked up kind of a sizable cult following over the years since he died in 1995. If you haven't,
new one just came out last week.
This is a really good place to start. What's that?
So a new one just came out last week for Record Store Day.
Oh, you're killing me, man.
A 74 show, I think it was San Diego 74. But if you've got Irish tour before, if you've got Irish,
this is a great place to start. And he's got a lot of energy and passion. Band he has is tight. Sound quality on this is excellent, and set list is amazing. First disc is all electric. And then the second disc, the first half of the second disc starts off with it has several acoustic numbers, which I think he also does very well. And then the heavier fare close out the set. So as a side note, while I was preparing this episode, got another Rory set from the archives.
That's a good one.
Liz,
Oh my God.
3 discs of previously unreleased live material. I haven't really dove into this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
You'll enjoy it. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I would say with Rory,
so far I've liked everything he's done.
Yeah, his studio albums are really solid. But you know what? If you really
Pretty
want to get
much.
the essence of Rory, you can go out and get like maybe a half a dozen live albums that cover a lot of the best material from the studio albums done live, and you're set. You're set.
You will end up with about 300 versions of Bullfrog Blues and going to my hometown and
Yeah,
messing with the
that's on
kids, but
here.
they're always good.
Blues.
Yeah, he always does those few tracks. But hey, they're great tracks. And as you say, he's one of the few guys that acoustically still rocks, even when it's just him. And it wasn't even just a guitar. Sometimes it was a mandolin.
Yeah, he didn't really sound like anybody else. I mean, like I said, at first listen, maybe I'm hearing a little Johnny Winter, but I think
Yeah, it's not
his
noisy.
singing style is unique.
Mm.
Really doesn't sound like other stuff from the 70s. But I would say if you like guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Johnny Winter, Pat Travers, Robin Trower, and maybe early Eric Clapton, check this out.
Yeah,
definitely worth your
legendary
time.
player. That's good. And I would say too.
Davey, question?
Check out the Taste albums.
I was just going to go there. Yeah, the Taste albums.
I haven't done that yet. Davey, just quick question: is he pretty big in the UK?
Bigger, but not massive. If you know your blues rock, you're going to know who Rory Gallagher is. But
Gallagher, I should say. That's how you pronounce your name as well, correct?
Yeah, it's an Irish name, and the second G is silent. So Gallagher.
We're Americans. We butcher everything. Sorry.
You've got that guy with the watermelon, and he's hitting the watermelon. Gallagher.
Exactly.
So I think that's why Americans are conditioned to say that. But
good point.
Yeah, Rory is certainly a European, I'd say, icon in the way that he played the Montreux Festival all the time. There's a great DVD that compiles loads of his Montreux stuff from throughout the years.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, you can get that dirt cheap. Yeah, you'll get that dirt cheap, and it is worth every penny. So yeah, an Irish Tour '74 is probably his masterpiece. Just called Irish Tour '74.
I've got I know there's like a massive box set of that, which I don't have. I just have the standard one.
Yeah.
But even that's pretty good.
Yeah. I would say on the Taste front, if you get the recent reissue of the Taste Live at the Isle of Wight, the full show.
Oh yes.
Amazing. Oh, it's so good. And the Blu-ray or the DVD of it is great too.
No doubt.
I think I filled my quota on getting I'm getting box sets for like the next year and a half.
You'll buy one next week. Who are you?
Yeah, I will.
Just wait.
With your credit card,
it's coming.
Well, I think it was Armando. Didn't you say on Facebook that's your spending done for May, and it was still the 30th of April? Yeah.
So Pete, when I was doing the Kinks, did my phone have feedback the whole time I was talking?
It wasn't too bad, Jamie.
It's usually when you're not talking and someone else is talking, we hear it. Yeah. The same exact thing happened on In the Prog Seat last week. I don't know.
It wasn't as bad as
Lewis's phone was like feeding back from when other people were talking. It was weird. I don't know. But not
when you muted me, there were some viewers in the comments section going, "About time you mute that asshole." I guarantee it. Someone with a chip on his shoulder.
All right.
I love the show that it is.
Nick, what do you got for us? Your final pick today.
Well, besides the fact I actually just transferred downstairs, that way it fits more with the theme of the show, which if you want me to, I can give a quick tour. Or
just do a pan shot.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of anime stuff down here.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Kelly.
That's a lot of shit.
How?
Well, Courtney loves anime and I love anime too. So what better way than to have thousands of Blu-rays from this guy named Otaku Joe in Ohio who pretty much goes around to conventions for stuff. So I'm giving him a little shout out. So anyway, Tesseract is a connection of like squares and stuff like that. Well, they happen to have this rather bizarro or unique, that's the word, unique box set here. Portals. I don't know how well you can see it, so I'm not really in the mood to say everything. So yeah. Opens. I'm still in the middle of actually watching it. Here's the part though. No audience. It's just them on stage. It's number 1307. So this is a nice limited edition I got from Laser's Edge.
Never heard of them.
Bunch of stuff here.
Didn't Tesseract do that like right at the beginning of the pandemic? That's why there's like no audience, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and it's got a cinematic approach to it. So it's an hour and 50 minutes of just a small, unique, eclectic type of performance. Hell, I'll even go as far as to say that sui generis is Latin for unique. That's how unexpected it is. But it's like some songs are 18 minutes long. It's performed in such a way, just like this can only happen with prog rock bands. And let me tell you, it's a trip.
Very talented band.
Yes, very talented band. And this pretty much,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a nice set.
Cool.
Well, what kind of subgenre of prog is it? Is it prog metal or
like technical prog metal, technical prog rock, I'd say.
Yeah, it's like it's technical, it's metalish in spots, it's more straight prog in others. There's a little bit of the gent stuff going on, DJENT, so like it's kind of quirky stop start, heavy riff, mellow type of thing.
Is it what Martin would call smarty pants music?
Smarty pants metal, yeah, right.
So
Okay.
But yeah, no, good band, very talented band.
Sure. All right, and I apologize about this. I got to step off camera again. I had a lot of water before I stepped down. So again, I apologize. I'll be back.
All right, so my last pick of the day.
Just skip me then.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, Davey. Sorry.
No wonder Stephen Reed's getting brought and I'm getting replaced already. Is that complaints?
I apologize. You guys know I got the olds, right? I can never keep track of anything. So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I tell you, I cede my time to you. You can go first, and then I shall end.
Okay, we can do that. I'll be really quick because I only got one little measly CD here. So this was, you mentioned Stephen Reed before. So this was actually his recommendation about this. And for some reason, I never had this before. Amando's going to love this one. This came out in the mid 90s on Hollywood Records, and it's been out of print forever. And the reason I never got it was because it's BBC sessions from the songs from the first album. I'm like, do I really need that? But
I know where you're going.
Steven really played it up very well. And I'm like, well, I love early Queen. So I went and tracked down a copy of Queen at the BBC, previously known as Queen at the Beeb. This is a later reissue, which is
basically the Band of Joy.
It's like a little over a half hour. It's basically songs from the first album done in the BBC studios in 1973. And it's got My Fairy King, Keep Yourself Alive, Doing All Right, Liar, Ogre Battle, which is from the second album, Great King Rat, Modern Times Rock and Roll, and Son and Daughter. So, and they're fairly faithful renditions to the album versions, but different in some spots. Like the first half of it is fairly true to the original album versions, but then like during Son and Daughter and Modern Times Rock and Roll and Great King Rat, you're hearing some different things going on. So, and it's really heavy, it's really raw, but great recordings. And I buy anything Queen, so I had to have it, and I was perplexed that I actually didn't have it to begin with, right? So yeah, Queen of the BBC or Queen of the Beeb, whatever you want to call it. Very, very cool stuff here. And that's what the inside looks like. I was able to track this down from a seller on eBay for pretty inexpensive, because I was looking all sorts of places and it was a lot of money. And then someone was selling it for like less than $10. I was like, yes, I will take that. So
it's very raw.
Never seen that one before.
Sure.
It's a good alternative to the original, album versions.
Very, very quickly, they have a set out called Queen on Air.
Yeah,
and within that set you have the first set of BBC sessions, then you have another set from like 77, which they do I think
it's the Rainbow
Rock You, and so they do
the test,
right? But it's good.
If a favorite band of mine has a BBC session, I'm all over that.
There you go.
The reason that they used to have
Those are awesome.
they used to have to do them so similar to the studio takes was the BBC was only allowed to to play so many records per day. They had to allow so much for live time. So they were allowed to play live records, and that would count as different from the studio cuts. So that's why quite often the 60s recordings and early 70s, you'll get very straight versions of them. And about 73, 74, that's when you start getting different versions of the BBC archives.
Yeah.
But until then, it was pretty straightforward because they were basically just doing another studio version for the Beeb.
Just a quick question, David. Was that why when they would perform on Top of the Pops, they had to do like they had to go in the studio and do a different?
Yes, exactly. So the band could never play live, but the singer could sing live.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Which, if you've ever seen, Pete, you'll enjoy this. Fish from Marillion, when they did Lavender, he lost his voice, and he just asked them to pipe in the music, and he just holds up cue cards with the lyrics on it and points to the words. So you're watching Marillion mime. Fish isn't even moving his mouth; he's just pointing to the words, but you're hearing his voice.
That's
Making
fun.
a total mockery of the whole, live on Top of the Pops. But yeah, some great stuff in the archives. It's and a lot of them are now out of print. So whenever you see at the BBC, snap it up. And we've mentioned the Kinks. If Jamie sees this, if he's still on, the Kinks at the BBC 5-disc and the DVD has got a 3-hour Kinks DVD. Absolutely amazing. It's got a full concert from '77. Absolutely stunning.
You guys not see me?
No, I can see you. You're fine.
Oh,
can see you
said
now,
I'm
yeah.
still on. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get sidetracked so easily on the.
I know,
on the
right?
show.
All right, Davey, close us out.
Please, yeah.
Okay,
Go
well,
ahead.
Well, first of all, Pete, you mentioned different things at the start, not just CDs and vinyl. You might notice I'm wearing a Marillion t-shirt today. It's the new album, but it's in the colours of the Ukraine. They're selling this for charity with all proceeds going to refugees. So it's not going to bullets or guns, it's going to the refugees of Ukraine. Limited edition, you can only get it while stocks last, and they're already starting to sell out. So anyone that wants one, jump onto Marillion.com. And just before I go to my actual pick, I'm going to rattle through. The curse isn't just real, it's infectious, because last month
Oh my God.
we had a pick for RTF, didn't we? And I said, I need to get that Blu-ray of, I've got the CDs, but I need to get the Blu-ray of RTF, the returns. It's completely out of print, but in Germany last year, it was re-released with the album. So RTF returns with the Blu-ray on it. So much cheaper than buying them individually. You get the 2-disc CD and the Blu-ray. So Amazon.de if you're looking for that one that was shown last month. So that was a good one. And then that put me in such a good mood that I thought I need to listen to more Stanley Clarke again. I've not listened to Stanley Clarke in ages. And I got his An Evening with Stanley Clarke and Friends Night School. And he does, Stevie Wonder's on here, Marcus Miller, Bella Fleck, Flea, Sheila E., Stuart Copeland, Brian Bromberg. It's sensational, and it's just a party. It's a fusion party. It's absolutely fantastic.
The school
And
days,
then-
night school. I like the way they did that.
Oh, and because School Days isn't on the RTF album, and I missed that because I just love School Days. It's one of my favorite tracks. When that gets stuck in your head, dun, 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 that'll be there for days. And then the Tea Party, I thought, well, I've heard a lot of Tea Party, but I haven't seen much Tea Party. And I looked for the Australia Blu-ray, but that's out of print and going for a little bit of money. But I've got my eyes on it. I've got the feelers out. But I did pick up their videos, Eliminations. Which is pretty good. I like that it's got audio commentaries from the band. I like it when they actually get involved and it's not just a cheapo thing. And then I picked up the live, intimate and interactive DVD.
I'm after that one too.
Yeah, which both of these, not one of them is more than £4. So ridiculous. Fantastic stuff. And again, from Eagle Vision, who I must have spent millions on Eagle Vision over the years. And then finally, from last month's recommendation, funnily enough, after being mentioned by Pete, Jaco Pastorius, live in Montreal, 1977 on DVD.
Oh, nice.
You're gonna sideways. Not big track listing, but Chicken, Donna Lee, Bass Solo, Mr. Phonebone, and Fannie Mae. Peter Erskine, Don Alias, Othello Molyneux,
Wow.
Randy Brecker, and Bobby Mintzer are the band. So
Can't go wrong with that.
Plenty of watching on there. But my actual pick is a power trio. They were a one and done. They are from Japan. They made one album which isn't great, but in 1989, I believe I read, they did release a live recording of them from the summer of 71. It's Ranmadu. And this is sensational blues rock power trio stuff. The kind of main guy in the band, Eddie Ko, on guitar and vocals, went on to Blues Creation, which were quite a reasonably popular blues band in Asia in the 1970s. But this is incredibly heavy, fuzzed guitars, very Jimmy Page style, bass solos galore. The drums are absolutely getting battered. There's, to do a Mr. Lemmy, there's only one softie on here right at the end, white shoes. Everything else is heavy as hell. And it's not just, it starts with Hoochie Coochie Man, which kind of rings alarm bells. Is it just going to be the same old blues standards? Everything else is actually original from the band, and it's heavy, heavy stuff. So this was recorded on the 7th of August, 71 at Hanoko River, Japan. So I'd really recommend this. Again, I got this on
right up
Amazon.
my alley.
Yeah, I was thinking about you when I was listening to it, Pete, because the one and done aspect, if nothing else, always gets you. You like your one and dones, but the actual one and done album they made, just called Ranmadu, isn't terribly good. So they have a lot of Zepp influences, and the album seems to be inspired more by like Zepp 2, the folkiness coming in, whereas this is just, let's just rock out, let's rock out with our sakes out or whatever, but it's absolutely fantastic. Again, Ranmadu, 1971 summer, from Germany. I'd keep an eye out for this. Discogs I had to go to for this, but you can get it. There have been numerous pressings. So nice shot there. Unfortunately, it's been kind of tampered with, but yeah, pretty plain on the inside. But nonetheless, great little set. I'm recommended for anyone who loves heavy power trio stuff. I mentioned they went on to Blues Creation. Blues Creation did an album produced by Felix from Mountain. So that gives you an idea of what kind of sound you're talking about here. So very much the classic power trio. So Felix Hipwald, they would join up with them later on.
Yeah, I got to go check that out. That looks really good. Discogs, get ready. Here I come.
And it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube if you want a sample.
There you go.
And when you get that guild of others, let me know what you think about it.
Okay, that's coming in any day now. So yeah, it's got a lot more.
Guild
I
of
learned a
Others.
lot yesterday.
Yeah,
See, Jamie, I
sound like
had a
Tommy
couple beers
Shaw.
last night, but forget it. Bad combination.
He's buying up a storm.
The thing is, you got to pace yourself, right? And that's
With the beers or the buying or both.
Both.
A little bit of
the
both.
buying and both really.
I
but-
don't know how to pace myself. I'm
Yeah.
so pathetic.
I'm pretty good because I'm getting old, so it's like I don't do too much anymore. But all it takes is one or two, and then I'm like, ooh, what can I buy tonight? Crazy. All right, well, there you have it, everybody. Another fun-filled episode of our of the curse and all the cool stuff we've been buying. So if there's anything really interesting that you picked up lately, please put that in the comments below. Looks like we lost Nick, I guess, but anyway, so before we go, Davey, you wanted to plug an upcoming show happening on your channel, a month-long series?
Yeah, well, recently I've done deep dives on Peter Gabriel's Soul, which is behind me, and Bruce Springsteen's Darkness on the Edge of Town. I cover movies as well on my channel. You'll find it in the comments. I'll put some down there. I'm doing a whole month of James Stewart retrospective where I'm going to go through 31 days of his movies. But I'm quite insane for I know. I'm I'm kind of regretting my decision, but you know, I did a Jamie, and I got the props and everything. So this helped me introduce it last week. Which, 31 days of Jimmy Stewart movies. It should be a blast.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad, son,
Not bad.
but
No,
they
it's
get
not bad at all.
better. They get better, believe me.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Now you have to do every episode talking like Jimmy.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, folks. It's nice to be here.
Can you do James Cagney? Take requests.
No, I can't. No, I can certainly try and do Marlon Brando for you if you want. I can do Brando anytime.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
I can do
Very nice.
modern day Al Pacino.
Wow.
Mm,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
multi-talented with no use whatsoever.
we all have our talents, right? So cool. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, and we're here all together all the damn time on YouTube.
All the damn time.
See you
Love
next
you
month.
guys.
That was not
Content.
very well coordinated.
I know
No.
he just battered in there, didn't he? All together now.
All the damn time.
Damn time.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we're here on this show all the damn time because
The curse
Curse
is
real.
that's right. That's right. We'll get better at this. Only
But
episode
I
number
need to
2.
practice this.
Yeah, it's only episode number 2. We'll get better at it. So thanks for
Oh, the
watching.
curse
everybody.
is real, folks.
That's right. For Jamie Laszlo and Davey Gallagher and Scott Berry and Armando Venditti and Nick Usofian and Rand Kelly, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next month here on The Curse is Real. Curse.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care, everybody. Thanks
Later.
for watching.